In today's video, I'm going to show you how to easily breed perfect IV competitive ready Pokemon in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. But before we get into today's video, please subscribe to the channel. Remember, you can always unsubscribe later if you would like to. Now, there are a few prerequisites we need to do before we can jump into the breeding process itself. The first thing that we're going to need to get, which is going to be a huge time saver, is going to be a Flame Body Pokemon. Now, the ability Flame Body is obviously in competitive. It has a 30% chance to burn an opponent if a contact move is made with your Pokemon, but outside of competitive battling, it does have another effect. Whenever you have a Pokemon with Flame Body in your party, it cuts down the steps required for an egg to hatch by 50%, which is huge, a huge time saver, especially if you are hatching a lot of eggs. There are a number of Pokemon within the Paldea region that have the ability Flame Body. There's Fletchinder. This one's a good one because it is available very early on in the games. You can see it's right next to the starting point where you start out your journey, so an easy one to pick up. You're going to have other options like Roly-Coly, like Carkol. Their options, pretty common options as well, available in the eastern areas of the region. As you can see here, Roly-Coly in this area towards the east, and then Carkol as well in the desert sort of areas where you'd imagine to find these Pokemon. We've also got the option of Charcadet as well. This will have the Flame Body ability. Obviously, this thing appears everywhere around the Paldea region. The only issue is it is a bit of a rare spawn, so it might be harder to get than some of the other options we're listing here. And the final one I'll list, just so you've got a few options, is Larvesta. It does spawn in desert. You can see here on the map where it does spawn, but having a Flame Body ability Pokemon, it is an essential, but it definitely is a huge time saver. The next thing that we're going to need to help us out, not essential of course, are ingredients for a particular sandwich, which is going to help us with the frequency that eggs appear in our picnics. So we are currently in Mesagoza West. This is the Pokemon Center that we are spawned in on. From here, you can see two shops over there. We've got Shurkans is the first place that we want to head to. And in here, this shop right here, it's easy enough to get to, you can't miss it, is going to be Bananas. So Bananas is going to be the first one that we're going to want to get. Obviously, we've got a bunch of them, so we're not going to pick anything up. Nothing else from here. And then we're going to head down to the bakery. I think it's Artisan Bakery. I'm not sure what its name is. I can never remember. But this bakery right here, and we are going to buy butter. It is the Artisan Bakery. Okay, we got it right. We're going to buy peanut butter, a bunch of peanut butter. Make sure you've got peanut butter. Make sure you've got actual butter as well. And the other tip I would say is just to pick up a bunch of silver picks. Now, it goes without saying, you probably already know this, but just in case you don't, you can't make a sandwich without a pick. If you run out of picks, you can't make sandwiches. So just make sure you're stocked up on the picks. Doesn't matter which ones you've got. The cheapest ones always are the best option for me. And we've got those. Again, we are in Mesagoza West, the Pokemon Center here. As soon as you're here, you want to just look over to the right and take this route and go down the stairs here, and we want to be heading to this Delibird presents shop here, and you'll be able to see it. There'll be a big Delibird sign on it, and this is another important place where we can pick up two very important items. So the first item that we're going to get, and I'm not going to say when this is available because I honestly don't know, and I don't want to put out misinformation. If you know when this item becomes available, if you've got it at a certain stage in your game, it'd be great to hear from you. Let me know down in the comment section below, and I can pin it for future people for reference so they know how to obtain it. But the item we're talking about is the Destiny Knot. It is going to be available for 20,000 Pokédollars or 20,000 League Points, but this is an essential item in the whole breeding process for passing down IV. So pick this up. We've already got one, and the other item is going to be in general goods. Again, just come back down to the bottom of this list, and the other item is the Everstone. You may already have an Everstone that you've picked up around the area because they are a pickup item, but if you don't, this is a great place to come and get one. Very cheap as well, but this is an item where you can attach it to a Pokemon that you're breeding with, and it will make sure that the nature, the Pokemon that's holding it, is always passed down to the baby Pokemon. So if you've got a Ditto with a jolly nature and you want your baby Pokemon to always have that jolly nature, make sure the Ditto is holding the Everstone. Essentially, that's how it works. The next thing you're going to need is a Ditto. It's not mandatory, but it definitely makes the process a lot easier, especially if you're breeding competitive, like perfect IV Pokemon. Now, I did a video on the channel how to get Ditto, the areas it spawns, and the best ways to catch a high IV Ditto. There are a few areas around the Paldea region where you can get Ditto. I'll put them up on the screen now. Predominantly currently in this band towards the northwest region of the Paldea region. But I have done a video, like I say, and the best place to get high IV dittos is going to be from terror raids. 5-star and 6-star terror raids are going to be the best place for you to pick up your higher IV dittos. Although not essential, you can do this process with a 3, 2, 1 IV ditto if you desire. It will take a bit longer, obviously, but it is possible. Now, the other essential item that you're gonna need, and you're gonna only be able to get this after you've beat the Elite Four, is the IV Judge. The IV Judge is a way for you to go into your boxes and check the IVs, how good they are with your Pokemon. You'll normally come into your Pokemon boxes, you'll see a screen like this on all your other Pokemon, just showing the raw stats of that particular Pokemon. Now, once you've beat the Elite Four, all you need to do is visit a Pokemon Center, and the lady at the Pokemon Center will inform you about the IV Judge and now how it's a function when you go into your Pokemon boxes, and you can toggle the plus button on your controller and check the Pokemon's IVs. Now, they will show up in descriptions like this. You're going to have best for perfect, which is going to be 31. You're going to have fantastic, which is 30. You're going to have decent, pretty good, and no good at all. So they are the options. I'll put them all on the screen now so you can see what each description of a stat means in regards to the parameters for knowing what range an IV sits in. Okay, with everything that we've got so far, we've got the Destiny Knot, the Everstone, we've got a Flame Body Pokemon, we've got a Ditto, and we do have a Pokemon that we are looking at breeding to get those perfect IVs on. So what we want to do now is head out into an area where we can set up our picnics. Now we've got a nice area to set up our picnic. The first things that we're going to want to check are that we've got the 2 Pokemon in our party that we're going to want to breed with. We've got a Tinkaton, and that's all we want to be breeding at the minute. We want to concentrate on that until that is the perfect Pokemon that we've got. We've got a Ditto in our party as well, and to make sure that we're passing the IVs down from the Ditto, we want to place the Destiny Knot on this Pokemon. So how the Destiny Knot works is when the Destiny Knot is attached to one of the Pokemon that you're breeding with, it will mean that 5 random IVs from both parents. It can be completely random which IVs they are, but it will be a combination of 5 IVs from both parents will always be passed down to the baby Pokemon. So this is why it's always good to have a Ditto or as close to a perfect IV Ditto to breed with as possible, because then you're increasing your chances of passing down those higher IVs. Thankfully for this process, I do have a high IV Tinkaton. This is from a 5-star Terra raid. So this one has got 4 perfect IVs to start with. So we want to pass down all of the IVs between these two. We're going to have good chances. There are 9 perfect IVs between these 2 Pokemon out of a possible 12. So it means there is a good chance of having at least 5 of those perfect IVs passed down to one of the baby Pokemon, especially if we're doing a lot of them. Now, the next thing that we want to make sure we've got is an empty box ready for the eggs to go into. Once you start a picnic and you start to collect eggs, these eggs are automatically going to be put into a box. So they're not going to go into your party, they're going to go straight into your box. So you're going to have to exit the picnic to come in and then collect them. So like I said, we've got an area where we want to set up a picnic. We want to just set our picnic up. We've got a Destiny Knot on our Ditto. We don't have a preferable nature that we want to pass down to the baby Pokemon on the Tinkaton or the Ditto at the moment, so we don't need to worry about the Everstone. The next thing that we want to do is recall Koraidon, because we don't need you here for this, is make a sandwich, because it will speed the process of eggs being produced. Although it's not necessary, it is something that speeds the whole process up. And when you're breeding competitive Pokemon, the big thing about that is making sure that you can do this as quickly as possible. Now, the sandwich that we're going to look for is the Great Peanut Butter Sandwich. You can see the meal power that it gives you. It is going to give you level 2 egg power, and that's what we're concerned about here. The egg power just means how quickly eggs are going to be produced between your Pokemon that are breeding in your picnic, so your egg frequency will occur a lot quicker. So what we want to do is just pick a silver pick and create this sandwich. Now, sandwich effects will last for 30 minutes. So as soon as we made this, we're going to have 30 minutes, as long as we make it right, to take advantage of this power until we'll have to do another sandwich and create the exact same again if we're still breeding at this stage. But we should produce a lot of eggs in that amount of time and be able to do this process, especially with the higher IV Pokemon that we've got. It shouldn't take too long for us to do. But like I say, if you've not got a perfect IV Ditto as I've got, and you're starting off with a Tinkaton that's maybe got no perfect IVs, this process is possible still. You use the same process as we're using now, but it may just take a bit longer. So you're going to just have a bit of patience. Obviously, once you get established with breeding a bit more, you manage to get some perfect IV Dittos, or 5 perfect IV Dittos, or 4 perfect IV Dittos. This will all become a lot more straightforward. As you can see here on the screen, once you've made the sandwich, you've got that egg power 2. Level 2 is what we want. You can use egg power level 1 as well, and you can also use the restaurants as well to get egg power. You don't need to generally rely on the sandwiches to get these egg power. Food vendors will have options that produce egg power. It might be just level 1, but that might just be enough for you to start speeding things up. So we can literally just sit back and relax really for a minute, because the basket should fill up with eggs. Now, it is worth noting that the basket can only hold 10 eggs at a time, so it is worth checking every so often, because after that you're not going to produce any more eggs. But if you peek in the basket, doesn't seem to be anything in the basket so far. Maybe we need to wake you up, Tinkaton. Get your hammer. Nothing in the basket just yet, so we're just going to sit and wait. And once we look in the basket this time, there seems to be a Pokemon egg inside. Do you want to take it? Yes, I do. Yes. So we'll take that one. We'll have another look, peek inside the basket. Doesn't seem to be anything there at the minute, and we'll just have to sit and wait. It is taking a bit longer than I initially thought for these eggs to be produced this time around. And as soon as I started getting the ball out to start playing with the Pokemon, I don't know if that's got any correlation with how quickly eggs are made, but eggs did start popping up. It could be just a coincidence. Doesn't seem to be anything in the basket. So even with the egg power on, sometimes it can take a bit longer for eggs to appear in the basket. It's not going to be just super quick sometimes. Depends on the Pokemon that you've got. The RNG can affect it as well in the game. So normally you'll go to your basket with the egg power activated, and you're going to have a basket full of eggs after a minute or so. But sometimes like this is the first time for me when I've been doing breeding where the eggs are taking a little bit longer. So it is just something to keep in mind. Okay, we've got a few eggs, so we can just use this as an example. We'll pack up for the moment. We want our flame body Pokemon. Fletchinder. We'll put our Ditto, who's holding the Destiny up there. Now, the first thing that we really want to do with these eggs is we're probably going to just, if you haven't got the natures that you really want, is to just breed a bunch of them to begin with, because then you're going to just eventually get the nature that you want from the eggs. And from that point on, you can then start breeding down that nature with the Everstone. Until you've got the nature that you really want, you can use nature mints. They're really accessible in this game, so it is an option. But if you want to be a bit more of a traditionalist, then you can use this method with the Everstone as well, just to save you some cash, I guess, as well. So once you've got the eggs in your party, you've got your flame body user in your party, you want to just kind of run around with these eggs and see if you can hatch a Pokemon. So once we've hatched all of them, we do have one more we can hatch as well. So we'll just hatch this one while we're at it. I'll just pop these in the box for the minute, and then we'll check the IVs. We've got 4 perfect IVs passed down on this one. We've got 3 passed down on this one. Nothing. No, we've got 5 passed down on that one. Just the speed, not that great on that one. And then, yeah, we've not got a perfect one yet. This one's not too bad, though. If we could just get the speed passed down on this one, that's pretty good. Natures, though, we've got nothing with the Jolly Nature yet. So we have to see and keep our fingers crossed this last egg will have the Jolly Nature, and it's a lot faster, I feel, in Scarlet and Violet than it has been in previous games. So this is the final egg that we've got before going for round 2 that we want. Nature is serious, and we've got that no good speed passing down, but other than that, it's not too bad. So what we could use is one of these to breed with, to be honest. We could use this one in particular. It's got probably a better spread than the one that we were using. So, and we can just pop this into our party. We'll pop Fletchinder back in here as well, because we don't want to get any Fletchinder eggs. And we can come to a nice area, get off our mount Pokemon, and we will set up another picnic. Now, we should still have the egg power active, so getting eggs will still be sped up. Okay, there's the 5th egg, so we can pack up this now and we can hatch our next 5 eggs. Okay, so that is all the Tinkaton, and we can have a look at the IV spread, see if we've got anything good here. So we've got that speed pass down again. Nothing good there, just 3 pass down here. There we go, we've got it. Okay, that is a perfect Tinkatink. It is perfect. It has got the best HP, attack, defense, speed, and special defense. So that is a flawless Pokemon. We haven't got the Jolly, and we've got a Jolly Nature one here. So what we want to look for between the two is which one's going to be better to breed down with. So yeah, this one is better because it's got 4 perfect IVs. This one's only got 3 perfect IVs. So we can breed this one with the Ditto. We can breed this one with the Ditto, get the Jolly, and then try the process over one more time. So we do have a perfect IV one, which we can definitely use if we want to use a Nature Mint on it. But otherwise, we're gonna have to try and repeat the process again. But now what we can do is we can give this Tinkatink the Everstone, and that is gonna be a huge plus for us to make sure that everyone after this is gonna have that Jolly Nature. So we'll give the Everstone to Tinkatink. We've got the Destiny Knot on the Ditto, and we can just set up another picnic. Okay, we should have enough eggs now to do another round of hatching. Okay, we got a next round of eggs. We can just run around and get them hatched. So let's have a look and see what the IVs are. You can see that they've all got that Jolly Nature. This one's very close to being perfect. This one's not good enough. This one has not got perfect IVs. Got a bunch of them. Very close as well, this one. Got that 0 IV speed and 0 IV speed. So not brilliant, all of them. This one's pretty perfect. If you wanted a Trick Room one, it's just got the wrong nature. It's not a bad one to keep. Of course, you can change your nature on it with a Nature Mint, but that fantastic defense gives you 30 defense anyway. These ones in the box, though, this one is probably the closest one with the 4 perfect IVs. And then I think we have another one here, which has got 4 perfect IVs. So these are 2 of the better ones. I don't think it really makes a difference which one we use. So as you can see, we're getting very close to this final breed. We've got the nature finally. We've got the Everstone on that, so that'll always be passing down. And you can see the combination of perfect IVs between the 2 Pokemon will match up. So all we need is the best perfect IV from the Ditto passed down to the Tinkatink, and then it will have a perfect spread. As I say, we're not worrying about the special attack. Okay, we got 5 more eggs, so we should be able to do, hopefully, the last round of hatching. And that's our last one, so we'll be able to check all the IVs on these new hatchlings to see if we've got that perfect IV thread now. So I'll just take the camera off. We'll be able to see everything. Right, best, no good in defense, but everything else pretty good. Oh, so close. So close. And there we go, we've got it. Okay, we've got it. And it has the Terra Steel type as well. So we have got a perfect breed for our Tinkatink now. And it has taken a little while because of the amount of eggs that were produced. Okay, so we can change the markings on it. Perfect HP, attack, defense, special attack. Very good, but not what we're concerned about, with perfect special defense, IV, and perfect speed as well. So this is perfect with that Jolly Nature. It saves us having to go out and buy any Nature Mints and any bottle caps or anything like that. Now we can just level it up and we can get this thing ready to battle for competitive in no time. So you can literally use this process with anything. As long as you've got a Ditto or even just 2 Pokemon that have good IVs, you just need the Destiny Knot to pass those IVs down. So what you're doing is looking for 2 Pokemon. Say your Ditto here has a perfect special defense IV and this Tinkatink has a perfect attack IV, but everything else is not good. Use the Destiny Knot until you get a baby with those 2 perfect IVs on it, and then you switch the Tinkatink out with the better one, and you repeat the process until you get that perfect 5 IV Pokemon. And it can be done. It will just take a bit longer if you don't have the better breeding parents. But if you've got a better set of breeding parents, then it won't take long at all. Like you can see, this is my first perfect breed in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet, and learning the new mechanics. The Everstone still works like it does. The Destiny Knot still works like it does. There are a bunch of ways to get really good high-level Pokemon around the region using 5-star Terra Raids, 6-star Terra Raids. It's easy enough to do. A lot of this, bear in mind, you're going to need the IV checker, so it is late post-game content, so you're not going to be able to do it until you finish the games. But this guide hopefully will give you an idea of everything you need to put into practice for you to start breeding perfect Pokemon pretty easily in Pokemon Scarlet and Violet. I hope you found today's video useful, friends. This is very early days with these games being out, and not all information about breeding is known yet, so I'm likely to do an updated guide very soon when we've got a bit more information on everything to do with breeding and how to really kind of streamline this process. But as far as it goes for now, these are the basic steps that you're going to need in the principles to breed perfect IV Pokemon. Go out, get a Ditto, get a high IV Ditto, and then catch the Pokemon that you're wanting to breed it with, and then kind of just repeat the processes that I've done in this video, using the Everstone, using the Destiny Knot, and using the sandwiches to boost the egg power. Obviously the egg power is not essential, but it does help speed things up. I dread to think how long this would have took if I didn't have egg power, because of how long it actually took for the Ditto and the Tinkaton to produce eggs, which is way crazier. But that's how it goes sometimes with these pairings. When you put certain Pokemon together that don't like each other too much, so they don't produce eggs as quickly as well. You've got to remember Tinkaton is a female only Pokemon, so it might be a reason why it takes a bit longer to breed than the other ones. But we did get there in the end. Like I say, hope you found this guide useful. If you have, please drop a like on the video. Do consider subscribing to the channel for more Pokemon Scarlet and Violet content, and I will see you all in another video very soon. So until then, friends, take care of yourselves and bye bye.